What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. One of WWE's most important PLEs is almost here, and the WWE Universe is eager to learn who will win the all-important Money in the Bank briefcases, both for the men's and for the women's. Join us now as we look at all the winners and losers of this year's Money in the Bank PLE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. And we first start off with the Intercontinental Championship match as champion Sami Zayn takes on Bron Breakker. As Sami Zayn has been Intercontinental Champion for just a few months, which may have Sami's supporters wanting him to keep the title much longer. However, this ignores the reality that WWE has even bigger plans for Bron Breakker, and that regrettably, at least for Zayn fans, Zayn's reign is ending this Saturday. The WWE has pushed Bron Breakker hard both in NXT and on the main roster, especially once he was drafted to Raw. While the WWE could show Sami digging deep and relying on the heart that won him the title against Gunther and has led to some hard-fought title defenses, a loss for Breakker would sap most of his momentum, if not outright destroy it. Granted, a loss by Breakker could lead him to turning into more of a maniac, but that wouldn't do anything to elevate him. In Breakker's case, a title win is necessary to establish him as more than a superstar who pulverizes opponents in post-match attacks and backstage brawls. In Sami's case, he's had a decent enough run as champion, and he's done well continuing Gunther's work to restore the IC title's prestige. But this is the title that's going to shoot Bron Breakker up into the stratosphere. Just let me tell you this, who needs it more? Sami Zayn or Bron Breakker? Our final prediction, Bron Breakker wins the Intercontinental Championship. Now, although Sami will lose, that isn't the end of the story, and Zayn coming up short could lead him to working even harder to regain the title, launching a title chase that could go on for months until Zayn regains the title. If not, let's hope that the WWE has a good plan for Sami, as he's become one of the company's top stars and should be in a prominent role, whether it's in feuds or chasing other titles. Next is a 6-man tag team championship match as undisputed champion Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa or Jacob Fatu. And there are many mysteries surrounding this match, beginning with which members of the Bloodline will actually team up and take on their rivals. It's unknown if Jacob Fatu can compete in Canada due to his past criminal record, but if he can, it would make sense to have him wrestle to show the WWE Universe what he can do. Another question is whether Roman Reigns will show up looking for answers as to why Solo Sikoa formed his own version of the Bloodline and appointed himself as tribal chief. However, there's one aspect of the match that isn't a mystery, and that's who will win it. The Bloodline have been on a roll and there's no reason for them to lose. Instead, look for the Bloodline to win with the help of yet another addition to the faction. While Zilla Fatu is hinted at coming to the WWE, we believe that former New Japan Pro Wrestling star Hikuleo, whose New Japan contract recently ended, will debut, helping the Bloodline earn another controversial win and beating down the babyfaces after the match. There's also a good chance that Solo Sikoa pins Cody Rhodes, albeit with the help of some outside interference, setting up a title match at SummerSlam. Our final prediction, the Bloodline wins the 6-man tag match. Next up is the women's Money in the Bank ladder match as Tiffany, Stratton, Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Naomi and Zoey Stark all do battle for the women's briefcase. And while all 5 matches look like they will be above average, the women's ladder match has the potential to be extraordinary. For whatever reason, the women's Money in the Bank briefcase has a perfect record when it comes to successful cash-ins, so fans are eager to see who wins and if the record continues. The least likely winners are Io Sky and Naomi. Sky won the briefcase in 2023, while Naomi seems set in a Dolph Ziggler style role of being someone used to put over talent and have good matches against them. Zoey Stark seems like a long shot, but as fans have seen, the briefcase bouts are all about the long shots winning. Lyra Valkyria has been on a hot streak, and having a win the briefcase could make up for the WWE's questionable decision to have Nia Jax defeat Lyra for this year's Queen of the Ring. However, as we've seen, Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton are the top 2 candidates. The Money in the Bank briefcase is perfect for Green, who occasionally stumbles into wins, including title wins, but whose fondness for focusing on complaining rather than wrestling leads to more losses than you'd expect. Putting the briefcase on Green will give fans another reason to despise her and create suspense because Green is so opportunistic, a key element in the concept of the Money in the Bank briefcase. However, we believe that Tiffany Stratton will win the briefcase due to the incredible push she's had since she started in WWE. She's proven a fast learner, working matches well beyond what you'd expect from someone with her experience, and quickly adapting to cutting promos and interacting with the WWE Universe. Stratton has the proverbial rocket strapped to her back, and a briefcase win will only add to her prestige. The only downside would be if the WWE decided to have her become the first female winner to fail in their cash-in. Although Stratton could bounce back, she's not the right person to earn that distinction. So our final prediction, Tiffany Stratton wins the Women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Next up, the Men's Money in the Bank ladder match is Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, and Andrade all do battle for the men's briefcase. This year's men's match has some interesting names, several of which have major storylines involving the ladder match or something outside of it. Fans shouldn't rule out a winner like Chad Gable or Carmelo Hayes, but judging from the WWE's focus on Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, it makes the most sense for McIntyre to win the briefcase and then have to deal with CM Punk's repeated efforts to thwart his cash-ins. As we discussed in our Rumors video, it appears that this year's men's briefcase winner won't successfully cash in their briefcase because it's very likely Gunther and Cody Rhodes will keep the titles through WrestleMania and possibly even longer. Whoever wins the briefcase should be someone who can absorb the stigma of failing to cash it in, and in Drew McIntyre's case, he's the best choice because he's already a 3-time world champion and fans never tire of seeing him get what's coming to him. Look for Logan Paul to cost LA Knight a win and for the Wyatt Six to somehow thwart Chad's chance of winning. Everyone's a viable candidate, but their careers will suffer if they win the briefcase and fail to cash it in. Jey Uso is an exception in that he doesn't need the briefcase as he's become a regular contender, and if he does win a world title, it makes more sense for him to win it in a straight-up match rather than an impromptu one. But our final prediction, Drew McIntyre wins the men's Money in the Bank briefcase. And finally, it's time for the main event as the World Heavyweight Championship match as champion Damien Priest takes on Seth Rollins. Now if Priest wins, Rollins can never challenge for the title as long as Priest is a champion. If Priest loses, he must leave the Judgment Day. As Seth Rollins is back in action and apparently at 100%, which makes him a dangerous opponent for Damien Priest, especially since Priest is dealing with the stress from the tension within the Judgment Day and the wish to prove he's his own man. Priest has had some good title defenses so far, but needs a great one to show that he's more than just another Money in the Bank winner who lucked into a title reign. Priest has a fantastic opponent because Seth Rollins always elevates the quality of his matches, but if Priest can bring up something special, he will solidify his status as a main eventer with future world title runs down the road. Look for an evenly matched contest where Rollins' experience shifts momentum his way until Finn Balor shows up to interfere, only for his interference to backfire, nearly costing Priest the match and his title. There will likely be interference from the rest of the Judgment Day while Priest and Balor argue, leading to Rollins getting taken out and Priest capitalizing on interference he knew nothing about. But our final prediction, Damien Priest retains the World Heavyweight Championship. Now expect Priest to go berserk the next night on Raw, which could lead to his exit from the Judgment Day and put him in a bad spot when he faces Gunther at SummerSlam. Even if Priest stays in the Judgment Day for the time being, the most obvious path is for the group to intentionally cost him his match against Gunther, either beating him down where he's not 100% at SummerSlam or interfering in the match. Now, although a Money in the Bank cash-in can't be ruled out during or after Priest vs Rollins, we think that a cash-in will be stopped by the Judgment Day or saved for another day. But there you have it, folks, all the winners and losers of this year's Money in the Bank PLE. What are your predictions? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.